Gas exchange in insects uses the tracheal system, which includes openings that open into an extensive network of air passageways inside the insect. Here is the developing tracheal system in a fruit fly larvae. All of the white parts are the tracheal system. They would open via spiracles along the outside. Air moves either passively or because of rhythmic contractions in and out of the tracheal system. Each tracheal opening, each spiracle, is protected by hairs and other structures from pathogens and other organisms getting inside. Gas exchange is using an opening, a spiracle, that opens into the animal, often in a connected network. This would connect to other spiracles, branching to smaller and smaller passageways. Often the very smallest passageways are filled at the ends with fluid. Those distances are often just a few tens to hundreds of microns. From the outside, if it's a small enough insect, the movement is entirely passive of oxygen in, and that oxygen in is being driven by the fact that cells are using oxygen and converting it during respiration into carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide moves down its partial pressure gradient and builds up in the gas mix that's inside the spiracle system. Oxygen moves into cells, therefore the partial pressure is lower in the extracellular spaces, therefore it moves out of the tracheal system. That creates a partial pressure gradient that moves oxygen into the insect. Carbon dioxide is constantly being excreted and oxygen is constantly entering. In larger insects, smooth muscle around parts of these larger chambers in this system cause it to expand and contract. Expansion and contraction makes the system like a tidal lung, with each contraction pushing the vessels in, moving depleted air out, and each expansion pulling the walls outward brings new oxygen in. The final portion of these very small tubules that have fluid are short enough that oxygen can move into them and into the extracellular spaces. Remember that diffusion in water is effective over distances of no more than about a half a millimeter or 500 microns. In air, however, diffusion is effective for much, much further than that. It's only as insects get larger with higher metabolic demands that they have a requirement to expand and contract their tracheal system. Insects are not only exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide, they're also losing water vapor, at least in dry environments. The tracheal system is 100% saturated with water vapor. Only when the outside is equally wet is the balance equal, the incoming water versus the departing water. As the atmosphere is drier and drier, insects need to pick up water. In dry areas where free water is not easy to obtain, that's a problem for insects.